so hard not to drum when you're at drums.
Brandon Goodwin, interview for the zine.
Take 7.
All right. What first drew you to drumming, and how did that eventually lead to creating this studio?
Well, how not to answer that in 6 hours. But basically, I was on the bus, the school bus, when I was 11, and this kid that I didn't even know that well, we kind of were like friends, but we never really hung out. He just came up to me and he said, "Hey, you should come over to my house today because my dad bought some drums." And I never, to this day, I don't know why he picked me, but we are still really good friends. So I went to his house, I played the drums, and I actually remember the beat. Can I play the beat?
Please.
I remember the first thing I ever played on the drums, I went like this. I went, that was the first thing I ever played. And then from then on, I was hooked. I started going over to his house all the time. And my parents had bought this karaoke machine, and I started bringing that over, and we'd set up the mics in the room and hit record on the cassette, and we would record our jams, which I still have cassettes of my first jams when I was 11, including this great version of Purple Haze that we did with this like really great guitarist came over one time, and we just laid down this like recording of Purple Haze that I still like to listen to when I was 11. So all of that was the original seed. And then that went into joining the school band in high school. I had a great teacher. I'm from a really small town in BC, but somehow we ended up with this fantastic music program with this super supportive music teacher. And then from that, it was basically when I was finishing high school, my parents said, "What do you want to do with your life?" And I looked at my skill set, which was drumming. And so it was a natural sort of evolution into becoming a professional drummer, is that aside from a little dabbling into sports, I was really like completely obsessed with music. And so that's been it. That's 25 years later since finishing high school and working to become a professional musician. That turned into teaching, and then eventually 10 years ago evolved into me opening my own studio. So thanks, Matt, for introducing me to drums and asking me that day on the school bus to come to his house and play his dad's drums. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. At what point did you realize you wanted to build not just a studio, but a community?
I don't remember the exact moment, but at some point I realized that the students, I had all these amazing students, and they were all just kind of like passing each other every week, like one person leaving the class, the other one going in, and for even like, they would see each other like every week for like a year. And it was always just like, they would be, "Hi, hey," and maybe a little small conversation. And I realized that there was all these really cool people, and that I was the only one who got to kind of enjoy spending time with them and talking about drums. And so I sort of made it a mission that somehow I was going to get them all to start to meet each other. And so that turned into hosting events. So at the very beginning, we did some recitals and some very casual hangouts. And now that turned into having like regular monthly events with our students and stuff. And yeah, I guess they say, you know, when you envision something and you focus on it, it can kind of manifest itself. But that really came just from me wanting all the cool students to like meet each other somehow. And that's basically what grew into the community that it is today.
For sure. What does this space mean to you?
Bye, Julia. You're locked in.
What does this space mean to you beyond music?
Oh, well, how to answer that without getting so emotional? But this is drumming is the most important, like, aside from my family, the people in my life, drumming is the thing that I like am the most passionate about in my life. So I like to have people. It's sort of like sometimes people meet for a reason, so everyone comes and gathers for drumming. But then out of that is like we just get to know each other and we create this incredible community of people. And so that definitely is sort of the thing that is the most special to me, and the reason why I just keep going is because it just kind of, more great people come in and they meet each other, and then some students have started working here. Julia is teaching. We have Katie, who's been a student for 4 years, is an administrator, and is also the one I'm looking at while I'm talking. So there's just like, out of all of that, aside from the drumming, is just all the incredible people.
Nice. Okay. How would you describe the community that's grown around the studio?
That's a great question. How would I describe it? Well, I think, like, if I think about the community as it's growing, it's been very organic. So there was never an agenda. It was just to bring people together for something like an idea, or something like a drumming. So I would use the word organic. It's people from all walks of life. Literally, like, just every type of person is coming in here and meeting each other and hanging out and that kind of thing. So probably organic would be the word I would use to describe the community. But also from that side of, like, that it's kind of grown on its own, like, it's very special to me. So special. Yeah, there we go.
All right. And what do you hope people feel when they walk in for the first time? Welcome
and safe. It's I mean that in different ways, but mostly that a lot of people, when they're doing something new, there's a little bit of that whole, like, nervousness, or sometimes like actual fear. Like, sometimes people come in and they have, like, the deer in the headlights look, like they're actually like, what am I getting into? So always having a safe space where people feel comfortable to come in to learn something new, that they're not going to be judged. Also, these are private lessons, so we want people to feel comfortable that they can spend time with our teachers, and that they're like, yeah, they won't be judged, or that they're just like accepted for them as people. So yeah, welcome and safe.
Okay. So what do you think makes this place special compared to more traditional music schools?
Well, I will just speak about why I think that this place is special, because I think there's a lot of different types of music schools, and I don't want to say anything about what other people are doing. So I think what makes this place special is two things. One is that we specialize in drumming. So the people, all of the teachers here are incredible drummers and teachers, but that's drumming. So we've sort of created a drum ecosystem, so to speak. And then the second is the community.
So speaking on community, can you share a moment where you really saw the community come to life?
There's been so many different moments. I'll just start saying some, because there's so many. One is, we had a picnic one summer, and just like tons of students showed up, and their family, and even ex-students showed up, like people who had stopped, and everyone just like, that's the thing, we all come together for something, but everyone just was chatting and hanging out, and that was really special to see. There was no drumming. I kind of made a point that it was the people at the studio, but we weren't there for drumming, we were there to spend time together. And so that was a really special moment of, like, the community coming together. And then I think it's kind of just the day-to-day of, like, how people are getting to know each other, and then even they're hanging out, or they play music together, and they're writing songs, and just becoming friends and that kind of thing. That's also very special for me.
Nice. Okay. How do you approach teaching in a way that builds connection and not just skill?
Yeah, that's also a very good question. I think the thing that I try to do is to treat each student as an individual. So to really hear what they want and what are their goals, and then to work towards that. I do have, like, systems that I use to build skill, but it actually reminds me of something that my partner, this is a bit of an aside, but when I used to write grants, my partner, who had written many grants, edited my first one, and she said, you know, your grant is all fluffy and there's all this extra stuff. She said, every time you write a sentence, you should remind yourself of what are you talking about? Like, what is the overall goal of what you're doing? And so that actually writing that grant with my partner helping me kind of opened my eyes even to becoming a better teacher, in that like every time I teach them something, I try to keep the goal of why are they there as an individual? Why are they there? So that it's not like I'm just giving them fluff, like your practice exercise, that your goal is this and I'm gonna focus on that. I will still use my teaching systems and the things that I know really well and I'm comfortable with, but I will at all times attempt to direct them towards their goals. So I guess that's how I kind of merge like the whole thing of like hearing and understanding the needs of the student, and then merging that with like getting them the skill set to reach their goals.
Cool. How do you support students who might feel intimidated or unsure when they start?
I think just really making it clear that like that this is a welcoming, non-judgmental space. So I think there's nothing specific. It's more of a demeanor that like I think I'm a welcoming person in general, but there's definitely like when I know I'm working with new people, I'm like I kind of give extra effort to that so that they really feel comfortable. First impressions are everything in life, and so if someone comes in and there's any kind of, you know, if I feel they feel like they're being judged or that I don't want them to be there, then they're not gonna come back, and then maybe they don't ever get to experience the beauty of like playing music and having a great community. So really like making a big effort that they feel comfortable when they show up.
So if someone is nervous about joining per se, what would you say to them typically?
Well, what I usually do if someone is nervous and I maybe talk to them on the phone, I will often invite them like to drum karaoke, which is a monthly event that we have where the students come and they hang out and they like play along to music and stuff. And actually we have had some people show up who hadn't even taken lessons before. And so it's sort of like show the strength of the community and how cool everybody is and how kind everybody is. So I try to kind of get them, basically try to get them in the studio, even if it's for a visit. Like I just try to get them to come and see what it is, because that is generally will kind of squash like any fears they might have. Generally, they'll be like, "Oh, this place is cool. It's super welcoming, and I feel comfortable here." Or they come and they don't like it, and then they don't come. But at least they know what it is, and I find that gives like it allows them to kind of build like a perception of like what the lessons might be like at the studio.
Nice. What's your favorite kind of moment to witness in a class or group session?
Probably breakthroughs. So like drumming and learning things always happens in plateaus. So generally, or in levels. So basically at the beginning, people always learn really fast. I find that for the first year, if people are like practicing with some regularity, it's kind of like this, but then people will always reach some sort of plateau where they have to spend more time working on a certain skill or to learn a specific song and those types of things. So they'll reach a plateau. So it always feels great when someone puts in the time and then they are like what I call leveling up. So they'll be on the plateau. Sometimes they'll be on it for like months. That's like long term when they've been taking lessons for a while. So they'll sort of be like working really hard and not improving. I'm like, no, just keep doing it. Trust me, keep going. And then all of a sudden they come into class and they're like, boop, and they're back up, and then they like get to another level. So that's my favorite part of teaching.
Okay. You often talk about the deeper impact of drumming. I'm wondering what changes have you seen in people beyond the instrument itself?
Well, I think drumming, learning anything in life, like going deep into something often teaches us about ourselves. So I can use the example of drumming because that's what I did, but what I have seen with many people of all ages, all walks of life, is that it can give people a sense of identity and purpose. It can build confidence in people. It can give them, sort of get people out of their shell. Like now they have, well, that's a confidence thing that they can learn new things. And I also think that music activates the brain in a lot of different ways. So it does make us more intelligent. So those are the things that I think that people can get, from drumming is is confidence, and then skill building, intelligence, and then whatever the first one I said, which I already forget.
Okay, so in terms of the studio, what does belonging look like to you in this context?
I think probably like the whole thing of like people feeling welcome and feeling safe, and then feeling that they have the that they're, I mean, that when people walk in, they feel like they're welcome to stay. That's probably the thing of belonging, that it's not like when they come in here, it's like they take their class and then we're like kind of pushing them out the door. It's that this is like a hangout, and that's often where people's sense of belonging occurs, is like between lessons, when people stick around or people come to practice, that sort of thing. So I think it's just the sort of the long-term effects of like people staying before and after their classes that creates that sort of belonging at the studio, because everybody kind of finds their own space here.
Okay, what have been some challenges in building and maintaining a strong community?
Probably that it is a business, and I've never owned a business before. So that, like, on the back, it's more of the back end. The strong community thing, well, I guess, okay, I'll answer that first. So the community part is sort of having some, we haven't written any rules, which I think is, you know, maybe it'll backfire one day, but basically it's that with holding some sort of level of respect and integrity at all times with everybody, and then sometimes having to enforce a little bit, but not really, like giving everyone kind of their space, you know, so they feel like they belong. But also sometimes, like, I do have to kind of enforce things, talk to people about whatever, there's like small things, and then just to make sure that it stays as a strong community, so everyone feels good about being here and comfortable. So probably, like, yeah, just like setting a standard of like integrity and respect, and then making sure that everybody here is also kind of doing that same thing. And then from the business standpoint, it's I like to say making sure the lights stay on so we can keep our community here. So just keeping everything running, finances, the teachers showing up on time, all that stuff on the back end is what keeps the studio going, which keeps the lights on, which allows us to have this great community.
Very true. What have you learned about people through this work?
Oh, that's a great question. I have learned many things, and I think the main thing I've learned over the past few years is to trust people more, in the sense of, so I guess that's for running the studio, is that I always have troubles like letting other people do things. I'm always like initiative, very ambitious, but also like a people pleaser, so I can take on too much all the time. And then also, like, just, you know, I kind of created the vision, so sometimes used to be like have difficulties letting people do things. So just trusting and giving people their own space to kind of contribute in their own way. So some people who contribute here are paid to work here, and then I'm trying to give them space so that they can do that in their own way. But also like all the students and all the events and stuff, like let the students contribute to that in terms of like what it looks like, or if people want to help and that kind of thing. So mostly just like giving space to people and trusting that everybody is as capable as the other person.
Cool. All right. How do you hope the community continues to grow in the coming years, looking forward?
Just like how it is now. So it's always been like growing on its own. Just like we get more students and more people in here, and then some of those people just come for their lessons, and some of those people come for like the fact that there is a great community here. So I just hope that it keeps growing in the way that it has been, and stays a really nurturing, positive safe and welcoming space for everyone, which I feel like it's going to be, so that's great. But those are my hopes for our studio and our community.
Beautiful. Are there any new ideas or initiatives you're excited about that would bring people together even more?
Yes, there are actually there are many. I think the most I'm chuckling because there's a lot happening right now. Probably there's three that I'm really excited about. One is we've started these intensive classes for adults currently. Hopefully, want to add that for kids as well. So basically, they're topical courses. So right now we're running a rock history intensive. So it's 5 weeks, and then at the end of the 5 weeks, there's a performance with a professional band for the people who are in the class. So the classes are really small. There's only 6 people in each class. So we're running our first one right now, and it's going great. It's super fun. Everyone's really excited. That's a rock history one. Then I've already filled up the jazz intensive that's going to start in May. We're working on a metal one that is almost full. So if you're watching this or reading the transcript and you're wondering about this stuff, we haven't been promoting this actively to the studio yet because we have so many students and the groups are really small. So it's sort of we've just been asking a few people here and there, and we're going to do one of each, and then we're going to open it up to the whole studio. So if you watch this and you're wondering why didn't I hear about this, because we haven't actually been like actively promoting it. So that's the first one, is the intensives. The second one is we're about to start a new program for teenagers, and so it's called the Drum Dogs, and we're running some camps this summer, the Drum Dog Music and Culture Weeks. And so there's 2 of them, and these are meant for teenagers to come and hang out and to meet other kids, not even kids, I don't know what to call teenagers, other teenagers their age. So meeting like-minded people and then just playing drums together, talking about music, forming opinions, building confidence, all of that stuff, making new friends. So I'm really excited about the Drum Dogs group. This is just starting, so we're doing 2 weeks this summer, 2 individual weeks. People can sign up for those, so we'll start promoting them very soon. So those are like a Monday to Friday kind of thing, but then we're also starting a Drum Dogs hangout on Sundays. So that will be Sunday afternoons. There's going to be a teacher here, and that's going to be in our big room. So the teens can come and hang out here and play drums, listen to music. There's going to be a teacher. They're going to do drumming, they're going to do hanging out, they can watch drumming videos. So it's the same thing, it's a gathering. It's like what we do with the adults. It's a gathering of like-minded individuals who are all coming together for something, drumming, but then getting to know each other as people. So it's a community building initiative for teenagers. I'm very, very excited about that. And then the third one, which is, we haven't officially announced this, but we're sort of soft launching a performance program. So this is we've had a lot of like very dedicated and serious students come through over the years, and it's always just kind of been like, they take the private lessons, they might take some group classes to kind of supplement the private lessons, and then they get better from that. But we're trying to start a program where it's like meant for people who are like, I want to join a band, I want to become a professional drummer, I want to like take this very seriously. That involves more than just like private lessons and group classes, that it has a mentor, and that there's like how can I call them, I had a working title of audits, but it's not that. It's like there's check-ins every few months about their goals, and then we adjust based off of what their development and that kind of thing, and where they're at with reaching their goals. And then they also get a lot more practice time available at the studio. So those are for like really serious students. So we have a lot of very serious students, and a lot of them are improving very rapidly. So it's sort of like a program that is meant for people who are like, there's a lot of people who are here to play for fun and have goals like learn to play to their favorite music and stuff. This is more for people who like want to join bands, want to do performances, maybe want to become a professional musician. So we're just calling that the performance program as like a working title. So that's 3 things: our intensives, the Drum Dogs, and our performance program. Those are the 3 things I'm most excited about upcoming for our studio.
Okay, awesome. We can't wait to hear more about them. So we've talked a lot about community, and I'd like to know, what has this community given back to you personally?
Probably just like a lot of fulfillment, as like having all these great people come and like, this is what I'm so passionate about, so I have all these people come and they share the same passion, so that's very fulfilling. I've also made a lot of great friends, so new friends. What is it giving back to me? Like, yeah, just a really rewarding life, basically. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. And the last question I have for you, Brandon, is what keeps you inspired to keep showing up and doing this work?
Um, first, like, all the people who are here. So, like, when I'm here working, I just having all these great people come in and be so happy to be here. That's like so inspiring for me. So it's creating a space where people are like excited to be at and inspired. So that inspires me. Yeah, that's the main one. But then it, like, selfishly, is like, I just only want to play drums and that's it. And so then I'm like, I mean, what else am I gonna do? Like, close this place and rent another closet and play drums alone all day? That doesn't sound as exciting as what's happening right now. So it's like, on a personal level, it's just that it's created this amazing place where I get to also like continue to just do all day what I love to do, which is drumming.
All right. Well, those are all the questions I had for you. Thank you so much for your time today, Mr. G Dub.
Yeah, my pleasure.